Okay, so right now, I'm holding, this is probably my Tele to end all Teles it has been for a long time. First off, and mostly because it's in shell pink, a glorious shell pink. I love this guitar. This is a Fender custom shop as well. This is not a vintage piece. It's built off of a 1959 Fender custom shop built by the master, Todd Krause. So it's my first master built guitar I ever purchased, and it has never left my side. It was from this lovely little establishment, you probably haven't heard of it, Wildwood Guitars. So it was one of the Wildwood 10s. And this was one of the first like launches of like when Steve is the owner, Mespley, when he was doing like a line with John and Todd and like the big hitters back then. So it was John Krause and Todd Krause were doing like runs of like master builds for his Wildwood 10 series. And he had like a huge plethora, but the fun part was, this was before Greg Koch was even involved. He was just coming in. And I'd been friends with Steve for a few years at this point. I started off as a customer. We developed a relationship and became friends. And then when we were talking about opening the shop, he was extremely supportive of it and incredibly encouraging and gave so many great advice, tips. And again, like I've talked about it before, but it was shocking because I was like, why are you helping? Because I'm going to be a competitor in my mind. Not really, but it's Steve. It's Wildwood. It's different. But he's like, if I don't help you, then the big boxes win, and that's the end of the love of the instrument. And like the true joy of going into a guitar shop is going into these small shops that cultivate wonderful collections, and you can love the instrument, love the people that work there. It's not a revolving door. It's real Americana business at its roots. And so we had lots of deep conversations on this and the ethics of the business and how like there's so much weird stuff in it, and you can just like cut through all that with just like your pure ethic, and like we're both on the same page with it. And and then the fun part about this was, besides it being shell pink and having this gloriously like understated relic thing, but I've definitely, it had a little bit of the neck pulled off, but I played the bejesus out of this thing. It's not that big of a neck. It's kind of nice. It's getting nice and grimy too, because it's got a lot of my oils and stuff in here. But no, the fun part is like Steve was like, I got Baxter, we're working on something big. And I'm like, what are you working on? He's like, I'll tell you next week. And so then I called next week, and I think I don't know if I bought this guitar yet. I don't think I bought this guitar yet. But he's like, we're gonna film all of our guitars. So this is before anyone had done this. Steve was like the pioneer of like filming guitars as demos to sell, and he had multiple guys come in. Like even when Lance did a few of the demos, I think early on with some of the Les Pauls, and that dude shreds. You'd probably talk to him on the phone if you called Wildwood or emailed. He's like a really excellent guitar player and excellent hair. It's like amazing and great beard. But this is a long time ago. Jeez, I'm so old now. But and then there's some other cat, I can't remember his name right now, that demoed this guitar. It wasn't Greg, but Greg was there. They were testing a few guys out, I'm guessing, to sort of see which fit the best. Obviously Greg was the winner because Greg is a god, and he's 6'6", pure muscles, lean, mean, guitar killing machine, and funny and sharp. And like when he goes out there to demo, like people don't realize, like he lives in the Midwest and he flies out to Louisville, Colorado, like he's there, and he'll sit down with the guitars and like go pretty much nonstop, like from 9 in the morning, 8 in the morning till lunchtime, break. Next, 1 o'clock till 7 o'clock, playing. Here's a guitar, boom, no stop, just playing them. And like these, like he was playing. This was the first run of these guitars, like he and the other fellows were doing. And I got to see the videos sort of in advance, and I was like, all right, I need the guitar. Can you send it to me? He worked out a nice price for me, and he shipped the guitar over. It was my wife. She made a cake in the shape of this guitar and the color, and we had when it got here, we had an unboxing and a cake eating moment. We are the definition of nerds. It's got, and I should get the specs a little bit, I'm sorry. I just like the history of these things, they're cool. It's got Abigail Ybarra pickups in it too, so I can't ever sell it, because there's not any more out there really, but there's a few, like sort of, some of the master builders have tucked some away, so if you really, really want some, like, it can still maybe happen. But that's kind of like, that's sort of the history of this guitar. Like I'm more of a Strat guy, like that's my jam, but this thing lives in that sort of Strat Tele hybrid world tonally. It's a rock and roll Tele. It's not really a country Bakersfield sound at all. It has a push, which is what I was looking for. And it really sort of solidified my relationship with, you know, not only the Fender Custom Shop and what I thought they could do and why I think they do it the best, but also with Steve at Wildwood and how, you know, he's been such a helpful part of our journey when we were starting. And just, you know, just having a great relationship with a great shop out there and the beautiful pieces that they were able to start cultivating from the Fender Custom Shop. And this one's mine. It's not going anywhere ever. So that's it. My Shell Pink 59 Todd Krause Fender Custom Shop.